Hello, this is lecture 12 in continuation of lecture 11. This is Tungal School of Basic and Applied Sciences, Degree College, Jamkandi. I am Ramanjan sir, Department of Mathematics. So let us discuss the bounded sets. Bounded sets. Bounded sets. First one, upper bound of a set. Upper bound of a set. A set is there, the finite set, as it has the upper bound and lower bound. Let capital A be any set and A belongs to R. That is A subset of R. A subset of R. And if there exists K belongs to R, capital K belongs to R, such that X less than or equal to K, comma, for all X belongs to R, then K is called an upper bound of the set capital A. See that. Suppose any set I will take here on the real number line. This is the set A. This is the set A. So that A is subset of R. A is subset of R. A is subset of R. So here, as this is capital K belongs to R, there exists capital K belongs to R, and all X values must be less than or equal to K. These are the X belongs to A, and all X values of A less than or equal to K. It is X less than or equal to K. Then X is the upper bound of the set A. See that here. As K belongs to R and A be any set, for all X belongs to A such that X less than or equal to K, then K is called an upper bound of the set A. Even by seeing in the figure also that K will be the upper bound of the set A. Next, second point. Lower bound of a set. Lower bound of a set. Right. The same way, let capital A be any set and A subset of R, and if there exists small k belongs to R, small k belongs to R, such that X greater than or equal to K, small k, for all X belongs to R, then small k is called the lower bound of the set A. Of the set A. Suppose even on the real number line, this is the set A and this is small k. All the elements of the set A, suppose x belongs to A, then x must be greater than or equal to k. X is to be greater than or equal to small k. Then small k is the lower bound of the set A. So finally, the bounded set. Third point. Bounded set. If any set has the lower bound as well as the upper bound, then that set is called a bounded set. So it is if a set A has both upper bound and lower bound, then the set A is called a bounded set. Is called a bounded set. Is called a bounded set. See that. Suppose this is the set A in the real line. This is the set A. If it has lower bound and capital K is the upper bound for the set A, then this set A is called a bounded set. This set A is called a bounded set. See that here. For this set A, K is the upper bound and small k is the lower bound. Then the set A has both upper bound and lower bound. Then this set A is called a bounded set. That means here if I take the element is x belongs to A such that k is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to capital K. So this is small k is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to k and x belongs to A, then the set A is called the bounded set. So for all x belongs to A it is true. For all x belongs to A, this condition is true. What is that inequality condition? Small k is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to capital K. It means for all x belongs to A means that the set A has both upper bound as well as the lower bound. Then the set A is the bounded set. So A is a bounded set. A is a bounded set. So fourth point, least upper bound. Least upper bound. Least upper bound. Sometimes it is called LUB or supremum. Supremum. The both words we are using for this least upper bound or LUB. Or simply it is also SUP, supremum of a set. How it will be, you see, let U be an upper bound of a set capital A. Let U be an upper bound of a set capital A. If every element, every element greater than u, greater than u, b, greater than u, b, and upper bound of capital A, then u is called a least upper bound, of capital A. See that is an important definitions are all these: upper bound of a set, lower bound of a set, least upper bound of a set now, and next the greatest lower bound of a set. So how we are defining the least upper bound of a set? Suppose this is the real number line and this is the set A. For this set A, I am taking u is the upper bound. This is upper bound. U is the upper bound. And if every element of A, if every element greater than u, if every element greater than u are also the upper bounds. So these are all the upper bounds. Upper bounds of A. So u is the upper bound of A, and if every element greater than u are also the upper bounds of A, then this u is called the least upper bound of A. So here u is the LUB. U is the LUB. See that how it will be? Suppose if u is the upper bound of A, and if every element greater than u are also the upper bounds of A, then this upper bound u now is called least upper bound of the set A. So if you take any element here is there, suppose if I take some S, if S belongs to A, then S must be less than or equal to u and is less than u plus epsilon. U plus epsilon. So this side is for u plus epsilon for epsilon greater than 0. So this side is u plus epsilon, and this side is, left side is u minus epsilon. And u plus epsilon, u minus epsilon is the neighborhood of u. Also u minus epsilon comma u plus epsilon, it is like this. This is u, and this side is u plus epsilon, and this side is u minus epsilon. That will be u minus epsilon is less than or equal to u, is less than or equal to u plus epsilon. So whenever you are taking, and this side is u minus epsilon always, and this side is u plus epsilon. Always must be, as u is the upper bound, its left side is u minus epsilon, and that all elements must be of A less than u, the elements of the set A. So u is called the upper bound of A, and u plus epsilon is also the upper bound, then u must be the least upper bound. Right, fifth point. Greatest lower bound. Greatest lower bound. This is called GLB or infimum. Infimum. Simply it is INF of a set. So here also let L be, small l be the lower bound of the set, lower bound of the set capital A. And if every element less than L be a lower bound of A, then L is called the greatest, L is called the greatest lower bound of A. See that here how the A set is there, this is R and this is the A set, this is the A set and this is L. Let us suppose L be the lower bound of the set A, and every element less than L are also the lower bounds of A. These are all the lower bounds, and this is lower bound. Then after this lower bound is called GLB. First of all, let L be the lower bound of the set A, and if every element less than L are also the lower bounds of the set A, then this L is called the greatest lower bound. Among all the lower bounds, L is the greatest lower bound. So that only we define. So whenever we take an element is here, because if you are taking this is the set A and this is L, and this is to be L plus epsilon this side, and this side is to be L minus epsilon. So you take any element, suppose here is some t, automatically L must be less than or equal to t is less than L plus epsilon, and always that L minus epsilon is less than or equal to t, because L minus epsilon is less than L, which is less than t. See that the conditions. Whereas again this t is less than L plus epsilon. So finally it will be L minus epsilon is less than L is less than or equal to t is less than or equal to L plus epsilon. These are all the inequalities. So L must be in between them only, because this L minus epsilon comma L is the neighborhood of the point L. Open interval L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon is the neighborhood of L. This open interval L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon is the neighborhood of L. Even there also, as U is the upper bound or least upper bound of the set A, where also U must be in between its neighborhood, U minus epsilon and U plus epsilon. Here is there, I will write there. U is the LUB. If U is the LUB, then U minus epsilon is less than or equal to U. If U is the LUB, then u minus epsilon is less than or equal to u is less than or equal to u plus epsilon. So sixth point, completeness axioms. Completeness axioms is an important because it was given in examination also for 2 marks. This is the 2 marks question, actually given in 2017 also. Define the completeness axioms. What are the completeness axioms? You see, the first one, if a set is bounded above means it has the upper bound, that is the set has an upper bound, then the set has a least upper bound. Suppose any set having the upper bound is there, this is the set A, as upper bound is there, then it must have because this is the upper bound, if a set has an upper bound or bounded above, then that set must have the least upper bound. Later on, it will be least upper bound. This is the completeness axiom. Next, one more completeness axiom. If a set is bounded below, that means the set has a lower bound, then the set has a greatest lower bound. That means if any set has a lower bound, suppose this is the set A, and if it has a lower bound is there, this is the lower bound, all elements lesser than L also the lower bounds, this is the lower bound. Later on, this will be the greatest lower bound, because every element less than L are also to be the lower bounds, then this L, that lower bound is now to be is called greatest lower bound. So this is the least upper bound and this is the greatest lower bound. So every set, this is some note, every set must have this is the set A, and this is an upper bound and this is the lower bound, and later on these are also the lower bounds of the set, and this is all the upper bounds of set. So this is the lower bound, and these are all the lower bounds, and this is the LUB. Similarly, this is the lower bound, and later on this is to be GLB. So every set must have, this is bounded set. As it is bounded set, if it has an upper bound U, all the elements above the U are also or greater than U are also the upper bounds, then this U is called least upper bound. Among all the upper bounds, this is the least one, so that least upper bound. So it is L is suppose a lower bound, all elements or many elements less than L are also the lower bounds. Among all these lower bounds, L is the greatest one, so that this is called greatest lower bound. Okay, thank you very much. Right. In continuation of the completeness axioms, we will discuss one of the theorem, and it is an important theorem. Almost it is to be in examination at every time. So this is called Archimedean property. In examination also, state and prove the Archimedean property. So that the statement is to be now for all x comma y belongs to R, x greater than 0, there exists n belongs to n, then nx is greater than y. The statement you see, nx for all, that means x greater than y, later on multiplying with n, so that nx is greater than y. For all n it is to be true. So see that the proof, for all y belongs to R by law of trichotomy, y must be less than 0, or maybe y is equal to 0 or y greater than 0. Whenever an element in the real number line, by the law of trichotomy, that the element must be either sometimes the negative, or maybe is equal to 0, or maybe positive. So let us see the case 1. Let y less than or equal to 0. So if these two conditions are to be true, then we have to prove the statement. Since x greater than 0, comma, n greater than 0, because these are all the real numbers, that is positive real numbers, implies multiply on both sides, nx also must be greater than 0. And next is, as y less than 0, so that 0 must be greater than or equal to, because y less than or equal to 0 means 0 must be greater than or equal to y. This implies nx must be greater than or equal to y, as the statement is true. For x is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, even y is equal to 1, that statement is true. Otherwise always nx must be greater than y. So the theorem is true for these two conditions. And let us take the y must be positive. So that case 2, let y greater than 0. Assume that the result is false. The result is false. That must be, what is the result is false? Nx must be less than or equal to y. Comma, for all n belongs to n. Results means nx greater than or equal to y. Even if is equal to also, sometimes all will be is equal to 1. N will be 1, x will be 1, y also will be 1, is equal to will be true. In other conditions, only nx must be greater than y. So we are assuming that now nx less than or equal to y means the result is false. Even the result is false, right? How can we prove that it is to be true later on? Thus, by contradiction method, we can prove this. Define the set A. Define the set capital A is equal to set of nx such that n belongs to n is bounded above. Is bounded above. That means the set A has an upper bound. By completeness axiom, let LUB of A is equal to some u. Least upper bound of a set A is equal to u. This implies nx must be less than or equal to u, as I told you. So whatever the elements of A, that must be less than or equal to u, because u is the least upper bound. Comma, for all n belongs to n. This implies for all n means even n plus 1 of x also to be less than or equal to u. This implies nx plus x less than or equal to u. This implies nx less than or equal to u minus x. Automatically u minus x must be less than u. So finally it is to be u minus x, because whenever the less than conditions is there, u minus x is an upper bound of A, which is a contradiction, as U is the LUB of A. It means whenever U is the least upper bound of A, no element less than U cannot be the upper bounds. Any element greater than U is the upper bound, but any element less than U cannot be the upper bound. Here is U minus X is an upper bound of A, so that this is a contradiction. Why? Because U is the least upper bound of A. So our assumption that Nx less than or equal to Y is wrong. So whatever we are assuming that Nx less than or equal to Y is false or wrong. This implies Nx must be greater than Y, for all n belongs to n. Hence, the theorem is proved. So this is the important theorem. As many times it was in examination. We take care about this. Thank you very much.